This video is brought to you by Multizone, where you can get your comics, board games, and card games all in one place. Visit multizone.ca and enter Easterling as a promo code to save 10% on your next order. Today I'm painting a hero from Simon Games Project Elite, and his name is Gherid. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. I know I am because you're watching my video. So Gherid is primed with Army Painter's Uniform Gray, and I'm going to be doing something I usually don't do again, is using contrast on other colors than lighter colors. And just because I wanted to do that and test it out again. It's always fun to try new things when you're painting these miniatures. So the first contrast color I'm using is Gryph-Hound Orange. I don't believe I've used that in a while on any of my miniatures. So this is for his big cannon of a gun, because in the artwork it looks like it's like an older looking rusted brownish gun. So I figured to start off with this, and later on I'll be adding some more effects to it to make it look more like the artwork. And again, the miniature doesn't look like the artwork too much. There's some details that are missing from that. It's always like that usually. So moving on to the next contrast color, which is Militarum Green. Now again, these contrast colors aren't meant to work on this kind of a darkish primer, but the Militarum Green actually does work nicely, and it gives it just what I wanted, just not too dark of a green, and just lightly covers and also gets into the recesses. There wasn't too much to paint on this. At one point I'm just looking around like, okay, what am I supposed to be painting? Anyways, so the next contrast color is Basilicanum Gray, and this is for parts of his trousers and stuff like that, what he's wearing underneath, like that heavy armor of his. And the armor is gray in the artwork, so that's why I will be leaving that mostly gray at the end and then just putting some wash over it. Now I could have used Basilicanum Gray everywhere on this guy, like, you know, technically where all the gray armor was, and then just wash and highlight, or not wash but just highlight after. But you know what, I just like that uniform gray underneath. Gives it a nice look to it. It's not always just metallics all the time, and pretty cool. I like this color. Basilicanum Gray on gray looks good. Now we're going to be using a unique paint from D&D's marvelous Pigments paint sets. This is from Army Painter, and it's in the Underdark, I want to say. Maybe even Undead. Again, I'm not sure, I always forget. Anyways, it is a unique paint. This is for his face, his hair, and his hand that is in that hand glove gun thingy. Yeah, because he's very pale. Sort of, but his hair is very white. So I will cover up the white with a wash after, but I come back and highlight the whites. Now I'm going to be using some bright gold, this time from Zombicide's Black Plague, and it's also equivalent to the Warpaint Mettalics color bright gold from the Army Painter. So then this is going to be for some of the armor that he has. It was more of a yellowish kind of thing in the artwork. I said, you know what, let's give this guy a little bit of a shine, sort of like I did with another miniature in this series. And so I get parts of his armor, parts of the legs, and you know, again, you don't see everything in the artwork on these guys in this game. Like, there's nowhere where it's like a full body view like other games I've painted. So I pretty much went like, okay, this will look cool here, this will look cool there, let's try it all out. Doing the same kind of thing, this time with a gunmetal metallics color from the Army Painter. So this is going to be for like those the bullet thingies or these wires or whatever. No, I think this is just like a wire to this guy. I don't know, maybe it's a flamethrower or something. I have no idea what this thing is. And then just some parts that are attaching his armor together, attaching his legs. It's almost like he's got like this, what do you call it, like a suit. It's almost like a exoskeleton suit, you know, kind of thing, or I don't know what you call those, but anyway, so I'm just like attaching certain things with this gunmetal. It's a very dark metallic, which is really nice, and it's not too bright, so even when you wash it, it still keeps its shine, but gets it a little bit darker. Alright, so now we're going to be using a contrast color again, which is Snakebite Leather. And this is for all his pouches and some of the straps around this miniature. Something I don't use often enough is the Dry Rust Effects paint from Army Painter. And like I said a while ago, it's like his gun had like this grungy old look to it, and I want to give it this rust effect. Even though I covered up later on with a wash, it still has that nice oldish look, you know. It's been in wars. Now we're going to use a contrast skeleton horde on his face and his hand and his hair, like I said, but I'm going to come back and highlight that with the same color I used before, which was Bleached Skull. So I'm just going to do a dry brush on top of his head, just to bring that white back out, but keep the recesses a little bit blonder. And then I get his beard, which he didn't have in the artwork, and I saw in the miniature he had a beard. Now I'm going to use some Spaceship exterior just to highlight a little few parts on the gun. There was a top pieces like as if they were like torn off, or maybe they're extra platings or whatever, and it's the same thing with the moon dust color. There was like this yellowish plate on each side of that gun, whatever it may be. And I'm going to finish off this miniature with some good old Nuln Oil shade from Citadel. This is pretty much going to cover the entire miniature. It does a great job getting into the recesses. You know, I could have dry brushed after some of the gray again to get some more highlights out. And but you know what? I liked how it came out. Alright, so that is Gherid all painted up and ready to fight those aliens in Project Elite. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.